Hello, and thank you for watching Focus, a show that focuses on community, unity, and service. I'm Chris Giard. My next guest is Jennifer Smithberger, co-founder of Seedership, a company that helps plant seeds of kindness to grow local leadership and share in making our world a better place, community by community. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Hi, Chris. Thank you for having me.
So let's kind of inform our audience about Seedership. What inspired you to come up with the idea?
So several years ago, the other co-founder and I were thinking, what can we do to help make the world a better place? There was so much negativity everywhere, the news, online, social media, and we're thinking, what part can we do to contribute? And we had several entrepreneurs and small business owners within our family, and we realized how much good they do on a regular basis. They step up to serve, they don't ask for anything in return. And that's where we realized this is what we can do. We can help elevate the good that small business owners across the nation are already doing. So we created a platform where they can track and measure everything they do, and then tell all those stories in an easily and accessible way so that it's top of mind.
Awesome. So because your business is able to take some of those that info, the data, and track it and visualize it for them, what are some of the stats of the contributions that these small businesses, local small businesses have made annually, and specifically some of the Connecticut businesses and their nonprofit partners?
Well, we did a study early last spring because we wanted to just kind of get a level base of how do they give, what motivates them, how do they promote it. And what we found was that 99% of the businesses give back, which was no surprise. I mean, they're ingrained in their community. It's where they live, where they work, where their kids go to school. We also learned that 97% of them prefer to give back to local causes and charities. Of course, they want to impact where they live and the communities that they serve. We also learned that they give back 70% on an ongoing basis, meaning it's not just a year-end thing or an annual event. It's something on a regular basis. And one of the biggest reasons for that is because they're constantly getting knocks on the door, people asking them to give, whether it's employees or customers, partners, local charities. I mean, they're seen as a resource, and a lot of local charities kind of depend on them for their contributions. So to them, giving is ongoing, but it's something that they do out of a desire to help the community that helped their business kind of grow and be successful. So most of the time, the main contributor for them giving is the desire to serve. They're not really looking for some impact for their business. It's nice, but it's not the motivator.
Yeah, and I think obviously when you have that local presence and the people that come in every day, you hear their stories and you hear their causes and what they're passionate about. And so it seems like it's just a perfect, marriage, if you will, to support. Can you talk about share some of the examples of how these small businesses were able to step up and give continued support, even despite COVID-19 and the hardships that they went through?
So when our study came out last year, we completed it. I think the study ended like the first week of March, which was right before the lockdown. So I was wondering if it would change. We haven't done the study again, but what I've seen is that it's become even more present. They're stepping up even more. Many of them did it because they had to as a way to survive. You saw all the restaurants, right? Help feed the frontline responders, help donate to healthcare workers. So many of them, that was their survival mechanism when they had to shut down. But many others just wanted to say, what can I do to help? There's this desire to say, I'm in it with my community. I have resources. What can I do? So I'll give you an example. A coffee shop here in New Britain, they used to rely on foot traffic, right? People would come in, have a cup of coffee, but they had to shut down. So they had to rapidly become an online retailer. And to drive sales, they did buy two, we donate one. Mm-hmm. And that model helped them really expand beyond their market. It also helped them expand their network because they were going out to physically deliver all the donated coffee. And since then, they've been able to grow, and that give back component is part of their core business. They're expanding that because it's helped them so much.
And I think what you said, moving to that online business model, you can tell that in the world we live in now, where big box stores are everywhere, the online shopping, especially during a pandemic, we didn't want to get out of our houses. And yet I know me personally, I made a point of, even if it was takeout, to go and support those. So is there the trend now of even these smallest mom and pop shops coming to an online presence so that they can stay afloat and still be, compete, as well as having that local presence so that people can feel connected in a way to give back to?
I mean, all businesses seem to be pivoting and trying to see how can they adapt and stay connected in a safe way to their customers. What I've seen more is they're making the good they do more visible. So whether it's on the menu or online or in their social media, I'm seeing more of them showcasing the impact or where they are in their community. And
And
that part is the invigorating part, is that they're bringing, a lot of customers, we're stuck at home and we want to help, but we don't know how. And what can I do alone? But when you partner with that small business that you're supporting anyway, it just feels, you feel a greater sense of connection and you feel a greater sense of impact because you're joining someone else in doing good.
so you talk about showcasing. Can you describe a little bit how a nonprofit goes about using Seedership and how they are able to kind of track what they do and make them visible? Because let's face it, a lot of these nonprofits and small businesses don't have that, you know, workforce power to keep up with. They're just trying to stay afloat. How does that help out with using your company?
So for a small business, what we say the first step is understanding what you do. Many times it's easy to track the dollars that they give, but I mean, small businesses give so much more than that. I mean, they give their time. Most of them are all volunteering somewhere. They give resources, products, surplus product. Sometimes they give their space, their voice. So how do you track all of that? So we help them track time, things, and money so that they can really have a full view of what they're doing. That's the first step.
Mhm.
You measure what you want to improve, you measure what you want to manage. The second part is showcasing those stories. And that's probably not the best word to use because it sounds like promoting. But the reason you want to make it visible is so that others can see and join you.
So can you talk about maybe a local group here in Connecticut and a partnership between the nonprofit and the store or business, and how they've kind of blossomed this newfound partnership and relationship?
So I will give you an example of something recently that we were a little part of. A local car dealership was approached by a small nonprofit, and the nonprofit was asking for a monetary donation. And that car dealership said, we can do more than that, right? They were really bought into the cause of the nonprofit. They were impressed. It was a youth-led nonprofit, and they were impressed. And they said, we want to do more. We want to do a 2-week drive with you. So
Awesome.
they opened the dealership, they took one of their trucks and they created a Stuff the Truck campaign that helps them, drive awareness for their truck. It invites customers to come to their facility. And for 2 weeks, they were promoting on their social networks and through their email database, asking for contributions for diapers and wipes. I believe the nonprofit said it was one of their greatest, most successful drives. They collected like 14,000 diapers and over 20,000 wipes. I went the day before it was closed, and it was like Jenga trying to put the boxes on top because it was so full. I also had a chance to speak to some of the employees. It kind of it made them excited that the community was coming in to participate and to see the overwhelming support. So that's an example of how they can work together. I mean, it would have been easy to give a check, but instead they help drive awareness, credibility, and participation in this nonprofit.
I know major corporations as well as small businesses have always been notorious for volunteering and helping out, but because of COVID, we haven't been able to get hands-on as much as we used to. I know things are starting to change now. What do you see as the trend for volunteerism and helping these nonprofits out going forward?
Oh goodness, we'll have to see how that evolves, right? I will say that one thing is ask what they need. You know, small business owners are incredibly resourceful, problem solvers. When they see an opportunity, that's when they can adapt of how can they respond. And I'll give you another example of that. As I said, small business owners, you know, they live in the community, they're parents, they physically see the needs. So an owner of a dance studio received a letter from the principal where her child goes to school, and it said, hi, you know, parents, we need help keeping your kids active, right? Virtual school, they're not moving around. And she saw that as an opportunity and said, my school can teach dance classes online. And they offered a 45-minute class. The parents jumped in to do, you know, salsa, whatever it was, for 45 minutes. It was so fun and successful. They're going to now do that in another elementary school in the community.
Awesome.
So it's more about listening, just like you would as a small business. You're listening to what your customers need. Be proactive and ask the nonprofits, what do you need? How can I help? And see how you can solve those problems together.
All right. So what is the best way if somebody wants to learn more about Seedership? What's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
Oh, well, on our website, Seedership.com, or you can also go on our social media platforms. We have Facebook or LinkedIn, and you can reach out directly to me if you're interested, Jennifer@Seedership.com.
Awesome. Jennifer, one question I like to end the interview with is, now more than ever, what are you thankful for? And you can respond personally or, you know, from your business as well.
I would say, you know, I am grateful that at Seedership, I have an opportunity to focus on a segment, small business owners, who are so servant oriented. I mean, when I speak to them, they genuinely want to improve their communities. It is authentic that they care. So I get immensely passionate that I have the opportunity to help them do more good in their community. The one thing that I really want to help them to, though, is realizing that there is nothing wrong if they also grow by doing good. You know, by promoting, leveraging, helping people get involved in the good they do, they're helping that cause. But I know, and you know, when they grow, they're only going to give back more. The more that, the better that they do, the better that they can do for their community.
Jennifer, thank you so much. It was very informative and inspirational too. So hopefully some small business owner or nonprofit hears about this and you know, really gets inspired to kind of get involved more and find out more about Seedership as well. So,
wonderful.
Jennifer Smithberger is the co-founder of Seedership. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Chris.